Hi, today we're going to talk about a subject suggested to me by my friend Kenny. So this one's for you, Kenny. Alright, so what we're going to talk about, the weeaboo space communists known as the Tau. Let's get into it. Okay, so the Tau, at least lore-wise, are the newest race to Warhammer 40k. They popped up around 6,000 years ago and sort of started to make a name for themselves. But where do they come from and how do they work? Well, the Tau started off on their home planet that doesn't really have a name, or at least if it does, I haven't found it. And they were essentially these small tribes that were constantly fighting with each other until one day this group of Tau called the Ethreals came and they were able to somehow band everyone together into a single unified empire. Now, how they did this, it's kept in secret, mainly because many people believe it's through some sort of mind control or manipulation or a mixture of both. Because, the Ethreals be mysterious and sketchy as fuck, which is kind of the way they want to have it. So when they created the empire, they created a caste system. And the caste system works like this. You have the fire caste, which are the warriors. You have the earth caste, which are the people that build their cities, their buildings, their roads, all that good stuff. You have the water caste, which are the people that go out and negotiate and are also their merchants. You have the air caste, which are essentially their spaceship pilots and airship pilots, kind of self-explanatory there. Then the final caste is of course the Ethreals. They're the ones in charge. Now, through this system, they created something called the greater good, which is where the communist joke comes from, but it kind of makes a lot of sense when you think about it. And just like real life communism, it isn't exactly what you think. See, on the surface, to someone outside of the Tau Empire, you may think, wow, they seem to be perfect. They work well with each other. They don't go to war with each other. They seem to be working all together to create this grand empire. But when you dive deep into it, it becomes a whole lot more shadier and dark and nefarious. And this kind of shadiness has actually brought several characters to question the Ethreals, the people in charge. And so they became rogue Tau. And then, so this greater good line of thinking is one of the main ways they grow their empire, because they actually don't go straight into conflict to conquer new worlds, which is really rare in 40k, because grim dark war all the time. They will first negotiate with planets to get people to be willing to join the Tau Empire willingly, because it's a whole lot easier to rule over people if they're willingly able to join you. And this has made them a bit of a threat to the Imperial Man. They see them as a threat, but more of, we'll deal with you if you get close, but we've been there. So we know what's going to happen. Sooner or later, you're eventually going to fall apart, because we already did that. We know what's up. I mean, we'll fight you, but we know you're going to just fight yourself in the end. Which again goes back to what I said earlier, how there are already Tau questioning the Ethreals, and could be a cool story if Games Workshop ever decides to do something with Xeno races. For the love of God, can they please do something with Xenos besides more Space Marine stuff, please? Thank you. So how do the Tau fight? Well, this is where that weeaboo comment comes from. See, the Tau aren't exactly physically fit. They have slow reaction time, and their strength is meh. Like, a trained guardsman can beat the shit out of a Tau almost every time, with, few exceptions, but that's usually the case, which is where the Tau melee meme comes from. So to make up for this, they use guns, lots and lots of guns, and guns on robots and mech suits, and essentially Gundam. So, if you're into Gundam and you're looking to get into 40k, there's your army. Here you go. There it is. Just remember, if you run triple Riptides, you're a piece of shit and I hate you. So what makes them a little also different from everything else in 40K is actually kind of their aesthetic. And I kind of get what Games Workshop was going for. Since they are a newer race, they have this slick, clean, futuristic look going for them, which is, totally different from everything else in 40K, which I do hope they kind of do fix in the near future, because, it's a little weird when my Space Marines that are in their beat-up armor are fighting these clean-looking robot dudes. It's a little weird. What else can I say? On the tabletop, they are all right. You can do good if you're a piece of shit that runs Triptides. Yeah, I know. I'm bringing it up twice because fuck you, okay? They're awful. Again, no, it works, but for everyone else, they'll probably hate you for it, just so you know. So this is a kind of a hard video to make, because with Games Workshop being so in love with Space Marines at the moment, when I say at the moment, it's they won't stop doing new Space Marine stuff for the past, I don't know, like forever years, ever since I joined the hobby. But they are slowly doing more Xeno stuff. They came out with a new Shadow Sun model that actually looks pretty cool. But that's kind of like the appeal of the Tau, is because since not a lot of lore has been written about it compared to other factions in 40K, it kind of has that mysterious mystique, and I'm actually very interested to see what happens later down the line if GW actually decides to do something with the Tau. But for now, we got a few named characters, which there is enough lore, I think, to do their own dedicated videos, like Shadow Sun. She's pretty cool. So until then, it's kind of like a basic introduction to the Tau. I know it's kind of short, but, again, they need more lore. I would like to see more lore for the Tau. So hopefully they get more lore soon. But until then, stay safe, and may the Emperor's light protect.